Hello, it's Alister from Sustrans. I come into Etonbury Academy and talk about walking, scooting and cycling, trying to encourage you to do as much of that as possible, especially on your ways to school. It's a really good way of you guys getting into Etonbury Academy, because I know a lot of you live quite far away and it's quick and easy to jump on the bike and get there. Now what we don't want is you to on one of those journeys to find that you've got a puncture and your tyre's flat. So Mr. Bodgers said, can I do a quick video to show you exactly what you need to do. Now the first thing you need is a 15mm spanner, and you need to unclip the brake here. So we unclip the brake here, and we're going to take the wheel off with the spanner. So quickly we'll spin that, and I'll do that side as well. Okay, and then we can get the wheel out. The next thing we need, we've got our wheel here, we need some tyre levers. Okay, so these tyre levers fit underneath what's called the bead of the tyre here. Okay, there's a wire bead in there, and that goes under there, and then we can go round with our tyre levers like that. And eventually we get to a stage where you can just pull the outer tyre out. Now, starting with the valve, I can flick the valve out and then pull out the inner tube here. So I've got the inner tube. My next thing I need to do is I need to pump up this inner tube a bit. So I've got a pump here. I'm going to plug this in. There's two types of valves you get. This is a Schrader valve, it's called. And the other type is a Presta valve, which has got a little press thing, so you might have one or the other. So I'm going to attach this, and I'm going to pump it up. Okay, make a nice balloon here. Once I've got a nice balloon, I'm going to feel with my face, because it's nice and sensitive by your face, see if I can feel any bit of air coming out as I go round. If I can feel any bit of air, I'll know that's where the puncture is. I haven't seen anything yet. Okay, and sometimes it's really hard. To start at the valve, then just go round one rotation, see if I can find anything, hear anything as well. If that fails, I've always got a sink here, so I can fill this sink with water, and then if I put the inner tube in there, and see if there's any bubbles coming out, so I can push on the surface of the rubber of the tyre and see if I can find any bubbles coming out. Once I've found the puncture, I need to let the air out again. So I'm going to let the air out, and I'm going to use one of these things. One thing I can do is just get another inner tube. Now, if I need to find out which size inner tube I need, okay, I look on the edge of the tyre here, and it tells me exactly what size of wheel I have here. This tells me it's a 26-inch tyre here, and it's 1.95 inches wide. Sometimes it's in centimetres, sometimes it's in inches. So that's one thing I can do. I can just get another inner tube from a shop like Wilkinson's or Halford's, or there's a brilliant website called innertubeshop.com, or there's Pedals in Biggleswade. Okay, the other thing I can do is I can use one of these things here. Okay, I can use a puncture repair kit like this. Now if I open up this puncture repair kit, it comes with a bit of rubber solution here, which I can put on, and then I can put a patch over it, or I can use one of these little red things. It's a self-seal thing that I just pop on. These are really nice and simple. If you can get hold of these, just pop them on. Okay, so once I've found the puncture, they usually put a little crayon in here, but it never comes out too well. So once I've let the air out, just let the air out fully. Okay, I need to make sure I've got my finger on where the hole is, and I just draw a little cross with the crayon. If you can't see it properly, just do it with a bit of biro, that works as well. And then we need to clean it with this bit of sandpaper there. So a bit of sandpaper there, and then we apply a little bit of rubber solution here, okay, to cover the hole. You just need a little bit on there, just a little bit covering, and it needs to be the size of the patch that you're going to use. Okay, now once you put the rubber solution on, just leave it for a minute or two, okay, and then what we do after that is we unpeel one of the patches and just stick it on like that. Okay, so once the patch is on, just give it a little stretch, okay. It shows you how much easier these things are. You just pop them on. Once that's done, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have to put this back into the into the wheel. Okay, so we start with the valve.
Alister, would you check the tyre in case there's a thorn still in it?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thanks, Derek. Yes, really good, because if we forget to do this, we might put the inner tube back in and just get a puncture. Now, sometimes we get thorns and things in there, so one way of checking is to just run your finger, starting at the valve hole here. Just run your finger all the way through there, just feeling for anything that might be poking through. Okay, and you can sort of just stretch the tyre a bit just to make sure that that you can see anything. And sometimes you can just pop that that thorn or bit of glass or something out. So do check the surface of your tyre. Then start with let's find that valve hole again, and we're going to pop the valve in. Okay, and then we are going to pop. It's a bit of a struggle. And we're going to pop the inner tube all the way inside, and this can get a bit tricky because we don't want the bead, you know, that wire thing, to pop out when we put it back in. So I'm going to start at the valve and sort of try and stick that, make sure that bead goes in like that. Pop that, try and pull that valve down so it's secure, and then using my fingers just pushing down, okay, all the way around, and hopefully the tyre should just pop back into place. It sometimes gets a bit tricky around here. Now you've got to be careful with these because we don't want to sort of create another pinch puncture or something like that. So sometimes just pushing it in with these, resetting the bead all the way and stretching it round and being nice and strong and popping it back in. Okay, next thing we want to do, get that tyre up to full pressure again. The pressure you need, there we go, lost the pump there. The pressure we need is also on the side of the pumps of the tyre here. So if I look round here, it tells me that the recommended inflation is 65 psi. So I'm going to pump that up to 65 psi. So nice and quickly, get some air in there. All the way to 65 psi. Now, remember that in student services, you have a pump like this. Okay, so do use that pump in student services if you need. There's also a toolkit in there. Okay, that's good. What we're going to do is pop this back on the bike now. Now, make sure we can slot the forks here back on. Let's see if we can make sure that that wheel is nice and central, and that if there are direction arrows on your outer tyre, that it's facing the right way. Then we need to get our 50mm spanner and tighten up really hard. It has to be really strong. If you can use a big long spanner, that's so much better. And lastly, do not forget to that you need to clip up that brake again. Okay, you need to clip up the brake, otherwise your brake's not going to work. Okay, give it a little spin, make sure it's all central. That looks pretty good, and I think we've got a properly replaced puncture there. Okay, thank you very much. See you again soon. Okay, bye.